get ready to go racing here at Lee USA Speedway. Starting on the pole, it'll be Ronnie Harkins in car number 62. On the outside, Katrina Canny in car number 12. Out of Barrington, New Hampshire, Jeremy Harkleroad's inside row number 2 with the number 51 car from Newmarket, the Big Al's Auto Parts automobile. Jeffrey LeBrecq is on the outside in car number 24. From Rochester, New Hampshire, Brian Kruzek is in the 00. And we are getting ready to go green. Brian Callen is on the flag stand, and here we go. Opening race here at Lee USA Speedway tonight. The late models presented by Ciotti Racing Products down the back straightaway. On the bottom, it's Harkins with Katrina Canny, the young 17-year-old sensation on the outside. Coming to you folks in that VIP tower, all bunched together, inches apart they go. Down the back straightaway off turn number 2. Katrina nudges ahead. LeBrecq to the outside of Harkins as they go wheel to wheel for the number 2 spot. Harkleroad on the bottom in car number 51. Dean Weber in the Hampshire Fire Protection number 30 car to the outside, challenges Harkleroad, a 2-time winner. He's got 2 wins in a row here at New Hampshire Center of Speed. Can he score the hat trick here tonight? Bunched together coming off turn number 4. Your NASCAR Wheeling, the late models here, the NASCAR Wheeling All-American Series. 12 laps the distance in this. Look at this, 3 abreast as they go into 3. Whoa, Weber loose, he gathers it up. Harkins pinched in the middle. Down the outside, it's Brian Kruzek, and we've got Tyler Fiskus driving the number 39 car. Come on, we got a 39 out there. Off the turn, a battle for the lead. Katrina Canny and Jeff LeBrecq. Down the back straightaway. You got Katrina Canny leading it. Off the 4th turn, they come halfway on the front straightaway. LeBrecq lines the bottom of the number 2 turn, tries to find the power to get underneath the number 12 car. As they lunge down that back straightaway, come by you folks in the Checkered Flag Pub. Battle for 4th spot between Kruzek and Harkleroad. Here's LeBrecq trying the inside. Jeff LeBrecq and Katrina Canny, wheel to wheel. Dean Weber goes to 3rd in the number 30 car. Look at the battle for the 4th spot as they line the 3rd turn. Harkleroad and Kruzek on the outside as they come off turn number 4. Oh, this is a good battle. And right behind him in the number 39 is the Thompson Speedway, Stafford Springs Speedway standout, Jeff Zeidema. Zeidema in the lineup in car number 39. Another lap completed for Jeff LeBrecq. Canny and Harkleroad side by side as they wage a battle for the 3rd spot. Off the number 2 corner, down the back straightaway, they mash those gas pedals. Kruzek watches from the 00. There's going to be 2 laps to go out here at the front straightaway. Nose to tail out of the 2nd turn, your late model. Opening race here tonight. Bright sunshine shines on that back straightaway. The white flag is out, 1 more to go. On a shady front straightaway for the late model division. First race for the NASCAR Wheeling All-American Series here. And it's going to go to Rochester's very own Jeff LeBrecq taking down the checkers. 2nd to Weber, 3rd to Harkleroad, and then Katrina Canny, Brian Kruzek, Jeff Zeidema, Ronnie Harkins, Brian Grants in the 79, and Doug Dawkins bringing up the rear in car number 94 in the opening race for the late model division. 12 laps will be the distance. Our 2nd race of the night to be followed by the True Value Modified Racing Series heat races. They too will be 12 laps in distance as Brian Callen looks the field over. Here they come, a green flag. Down to the turn number 1, all bunched together now. This is where it's fun. Down the back straightaway. Let's see who's going to lead lap number 1. Stacked up and bunched together. Oh, our newcomer goes around on the back straightaway. Welcome to Lee. Oh, look at the scramble down the front straightaway. Yellow flag is out. So the new guy, Daryl Morley, Tyler Fiskus having a A Fiscus out on the back straightaway. They're having fits in car number 53. We'd like to welcome him to New Hampshire Center of Speed.
Yeah, Tyler Fiscus, a driver that I've seen several times, did a real good job and was able to handle what would be described by a lot of people as a very loose race car.
Side by side between Joe Moore and Miles Chipman, the big guy up top as they roar down that back straightaway. Here's the bottom of the number 4 turn action here with Ricky Wolf. 3 abreast down the front chute. Wolf had to check up as they went into that first turn. Look at Burrell up top off the corner. Down the back straightaway. Inches apart as they dance through that number 3 turn. Who's going to lead the lap now? It's fun to watch as they come off 4. It'll be a more. J.R. Burrell looked like he wanted to go right between the 38 and the 0-0 car. Thought better of it. Bunched together down the back straightaway. This is the way our feature was 2 weeks ago. This is the way they finished. They were this close in that main event 2 weeks ago tonight. Army on the bottom as they roar into that number 1 turn. And the modifieds likewise at Seacock. We've been treated to some very close racing here at Lee. And on the True Value Modified Series. Down the front straightaway they come. Ricky Wolf's going to go to the bottom of the front straightaway, and Joe Moore hangs on to the lead. Here comes Ricky to the inside. There goes Miles Chipman on the outside. Jay Burrell right about him as they go down the back straightaway. Larmy watches it from the number 2 car. Inches apart, door to door, down the number 4 turn and down the front straightaway. Ricky Wolf doing a nice job at the bottom, and so is the defending champion J.R. Burrell. Miles Chipman's really got his work cut out for him. Both he and Joe Moore in the hot seat as they come off the corner. 6 laps completed. Inches apart, wheel to wheel, door to door, off 2. Down the back straightaway, Chipman hanging tough. JR right there on the back bumper as they work off 4. Down the front straightaway they come. Look at this, almost another 3 abreast situation. Ricky thought better of it, and he stays running underneath Burrell, heading into 1. Off the turn they go, down the chute again. This is good stuff, Darrell. Oh, the oh-no car inched ahead. Here they come out of the turn. Chipman leads the lap. The oh-no led the lap as they came across the start-finish line. Oh, this is great racing here in the late models, and this is only a heat race. These guys are putting on a show for you tonight, and they all around goes J.R. Burrell, yellow flag. Lap after lap, inches apart. You wonder just how long it can go before somebody goes around, and J.R. Burrell ended up being the guy. All 8 models ready to go back to green. 8 laps of the 12 completed, and here we go. Green flag. Miles Chipman leads it as they romp off that second turn. Here comes Ricky Wolf to the bottom of turn number 3. He keeps it down low, got a good line off that 4th corner. Joe Moore and JR side by side as they work that first turn. Now it's a good old-fashioned drag race at New Hampshire Center of Speed. Ricky on the bottom, Chipman up top. There's going to be 2 to go at the stripe. Burrell's in 3rd spot. Larmy's in the 4th hole as they go off turn number 2. Side by side, it's Fuller. Fuller don't want to finish last. He goes to the inside of Moore. The white flag is out. That means 1 more to go. Last lap here, and as Darrell pointed out, Burrell would be in the hunt. He's in 2nd spot. Larmy right up behind him. Ricky Wolf nails down the victory. 2nd goes to JR. Miles Chipman, Larmy, and the rest of the field taking the checkers out here on the front straightaway for the late models, presented by Dennis Ciotti and Ciotti Racing Products.
Inside of the following row, the number 11 machine of Chris Harding, and outside of the final row, starting shotgun on the field, the number 2 machine of Bill Osborne out of Plastow, New Hampshire. Pace lights are out, pace car is off, green flag flies, and we're underway. Drivers starting to get their way up to speed, working their way out of turn number 2 down the backstretch. Big wiggle out of Chapin coming down the backstretch. Doesn't cost him anything but a little bit of ground on the number 79 machine of Keith Jones. Now Chapin down to the inside of Jones side by side. They enter turn number 1 and Chapin will pick up the number 1 spot from Keith Jones. Jones down to second, Faulkner and Brown battling for third as they enter turn number 3. Jacobson also getting himself involved in this. Too wide, too deep from second place on back. We've got ourselves a gaggle and it's working out well for Lloyd Chapin. Chapin now starting to pull away. Faulkner up into second. Jacobson into third. Fourth is Osborne. Fifth right now is the number 79 of Jones. Here comes Ben Brown to the inside with the number 5 spot. Brown will pick up the 5th position here out of turn number 4. And Ben Brown has the spot in the top 5 here in this heat race. Once again, heat racing action for the road runners. Next week they will have the Lloyd Chapin Jr. Memorial Race for the road runner division here at Lee USA Speedway. Huge week next week. You're going to want to make sure that you are here. Mark it on your calendars. Next week, July 20th, one of the biggest nights of racing we're going to have, and it should be huge for the small block supers who are coming up next. They are the main attraction for that show. Lloyd Chapin has pulled away. Dana Faulkner now opens up a nice gap for second spot. From third on back, you can flip a coin. Bill Osborne sits in third. Fourth spot is a battle between Jacobson and Brown. Brown to the inside of Jacobson. A little bit of contact. They both continue on. They work their way now into turns 1 and 2. Brown has the advantage. Jacobson now drops into line behind Ben Brown. All of this taking place way behind Lloyd Chapin. White flag flies. Last trip around the speedway for the road runners. Chapin with the advantage as they head down the backstretch. This is his race to win. Barring something happening to the 22, Lloyd Chapin will take home the win. Checkers fly for Chapin. Second will go to Faulkner. Third to Osborne. Fourth to Ben Brown. And rounding out the top 5, the number 08 machine of Christopher Jacobson. That's the way the road runners are going to finish. Coming up next, the small block supers take to the track here at Lee USA Speedway. Some of the fastest cars you are going to see. The number 40 machine, we're told it is Tony Ricky driving the Marco Turcotte entry in that number 40 machine. Pace car pulls off. Let's flatten the wings. Put the hammer down. Green flag flies. Cazares with the advantage through turns 1 and 2. Down the backstretch, Cazares your leader. Gath tries to drive it in on the inside, not quite gonna work. Here comes Locke on the high side. Jeffrey Locke up to spot number 2 as they work their way through turns 1 and 2 and down the backstretch. Nice battle for the number 4 position on the racetrack. Lilly trying to hold off Ricky. Ricky down to the inside will pick up spot number 4, and now the battle for the lead starts to heat up. Locke will look to the high side on Cazares. Cazares has been working with that setup for weeks now, ever since the beginning of the racing season. Dynamite Dave Cazares and crew has been working with that setup, trying to find the perfect combination. They believe they may be at least a step closer to that perfect combination tonight. To find out, they'll have to hold off last week's feature winner, Jeffrey Locke, in the number 37 machine. Halfway home, Locke with a nose to the inside. Cazares is able to slam the door, working through turns 1 and 2. Locke does the right thing, backs off, keeps that front wing intact. It's still Cazares, followed by Locke with the number 77 of Gath in tow. Here comes Tony Ricky as well, as now here goes Locke to the high side. Locke to the high side on Cazares. Cazares keeps it strapped down to the inside. Block up high, Cazares down low, working their way down the backstretch here at Lee USA. Cazares once again reestablishes his lead, but Locke won't give up. Locke refusing to back down on the high side. Locke got up out of the preferred racing groove. That's going to cost him. White flag flies, last trip around the speedway. In his rookie season, the Dynamite one, Dynamite Dave Cazares, trying to pull off the miracle, trying to grab the heat race win. Checkers, Cazares takes home the win. Second goes to Gav, third to Ricky. Fourth will go to Jeffrey Locke, and rounding out the top five, the number 17 machine of Jack Lilly. Outside that second row, the number 11 machine tonight, driven by Mike Ordway Jr. Ordway trying his hand at a super modified. Rounding out this field, Dan Martineau in the number 3 machine. Martineau out of Methuen, Massachusetts. Green flag flies, and we're back underway. Small block super modifieds working their way down the backstretch. Whitcomb has to lift a little bit. Lane with the advantage, working their way through turns 3 and 4. Lane on the inside, Whitcomb on the outside, down the backstretch. Eddie Whitcomb goes to the top, takes over the top spot. Eddie Whitcomb once again utilizing the penthouse here at Lee USA Speedway. It's Whitcomb, Lane, and Bose, your top 3 as they head down the backstretch. Ordway Jr. in 4th, Martineau in 5th. Let's not forget, all of these drivers warming themselves up, getting ready, not just for tonight's feature event, which is important to these drivers, also for next week, 40 laps next week for the small block super modifieds. Should be a fantastic show. I expect to see each and every one of you here next week. And yes, I've taken account of all of your faces. I don't know where you live, but it doesn't really make a difference. Closing in on the closing laps here of this one, Whitcomb is your leader. Lane right there in second, hanging with the veteran, Eddie Whitcomb Jr. The Whitcomb family, one of those names, one of those families that is just synonymous with super modified racing. You mention Petty, you think of NASCAR. Same thing with Earnhardt, you think of NASCAR. You mention Whitcomb, you must be talking about super modifieds. Eddie Sr. and of course Randy Whitcomb, fantastic super modified drivers. Eddie Whitcomb Jr., just as good as the before mentioned Whitcombs. Closing laps here in this one. Whitcomb is your leader. Second spot is the number 13 of Lane. White flag flies. Last trip around the speedway. 3/8 of a mile left. Whitcomb out of turn number 2, now down the backstretch all by his lonesome. The way he wanted it to be. Eddie Whitcomb Jr. takes home the win. Second goes to Lane, third to Bose. Fourth will belong to the number 11 machine of Mike Ordway Jr. And rounding out this field is Dan Martineau in the number 3 machine. So that's the way they finish here. Outside of Aberley, the number 2 of Wayne Witten Jr. Row number 4 on the inside, the number 27 machine of Bruce Bernhardt. Outside of Bernhardt, trying to get a number on that machine, the 0 machine. Looks like Paul Palin out of Pelham, New Hampshire. Green flag flies, and we are underway. They work their way out of turn number 2. Mars sideways and slideways, trying to find some traction for those rear tires, working out of turn number 2. Delisle is your race leader. Now Mar will be side by side as they're 3 wide behind him. Mar side by side with Bousquet. Jesse Bousquet moves up a spot into second spot, and they're still 3 wide. Still 3 wide here at Lee USA Speedway. Late model sportsman action taking place here on the 3/8 mile. The big battle on the racetrack is for the number 5 position. Jason Marr drops back behind Aberley. Joe Delisle is your race leader. Bousquet now trying to hold off Witten. Wayne Witten Jr. works his way to the inside of Jesse Bousquet. He's got a fender on him as the lights come on here at Lee, USA. Another Friday night under the lights here at Lee, USA Speedway. Closing on the halfway point, as a matter of fact, according to Brian Cowan, halfway home. Halfway home here in this one, says Brian Cowan. Joe Delisle is your race leader. Wayne Witten Jr. sits in second. Jesse Bousquet sits in third. Witten all over the back bumper as a warning goes out to Kevin Aberle. Nick Gravel off the pace in the number 54 machine. Joe Delisle, don't look now, but you've got some company up at the front of the pack. Wayne Witten Jr. all over the back bumper of Delisle's number 47 machine. Closing lap, 2 more laps to go. Delisle, your race leader. Witten sits in second. Bousquet is third. Any one of those drivers a potential feature winner. Now they're battling for a heat race win. White flag last time around the racetrack. Delisle trying to hold off Wayne Witten Jr., multiple time feature event winner here at Lee, USA. They work their way out of turn number 3 now through 4. Down the front stretch, Delisle takes home the win. Witten will take home second, rounding out your top third, the 07 of Jesse Bousquet. So that's heat race number 1 in the books as Nick Gravel passed the start-finish line, completing his portion of the heat race. Grant Ather, a multiple-time winner on the season. He's working his way towards the championship here in the 2007 season. Getting set for the green flag. Green flag flies, and we are underway. Side by side, the top 4 cars work their way down the backstretch. Eaton with the advantage on the high side. Fishpansky down to second. Out of turn number 2 down the backstretch, it's Eaton followed by Fishpansky. Green and Melvin side by side with a number 3 spot. Bo Green all over the back bumper of Michelle Fishpansky. Grant Ather up in behind Bo Green, followed by Peter Cook. Don't forget about Bobby Melvin up on the outside. All of tonight's racing action being caught on camera and on film and saved for generations to come, courtesy of Channel One Video and Bill Channel. Side by side now for the 4th position on the racetrack. Melvin continues to slide back through the field. Bo Green now looks to the high side of Fishpansky. Fishpansky trying to hold on to a real solid run for the number 1%. Halfway home for Dan Eaton. The rest of the field crosses about a half a straightaway behind Eaton. Eaton wants to see this thing go green. He doesn't want to see the first yellow flag, the first official yellow flag of the heat racing portion of our racing program here tonight at Lee USA Speedway. Bo Green trying to make it stick on the outside of Michelle Fishpansky. Fishpansky doing a great job on the inside. Green now with the advantage into turn number 3. Fishpansky down low. Green up high. Side by side, they cross the line. Green with second spot. Michelle Fishpansky fights back on the inside. A wiggle out of Fishpansky. And she's going to drop back one spot. 2 more laps to go here in this one. Grant Ather now works around the outside of Fishpansky. Here comes Bobby Melvin Jr. up on the high side of Fishpansky. The tires are starting to fail the number 1% machine. White flag flies for Eaton, your race leader, followed by Green, Ather, Melvin, and Fishpansky. Peter Cook trying to work on the back door of Michelle Fishpansky's 1%. Checkers in the air. Eaton will take home the win. Second goes to Green, third to Ather, fourth will go to Bobby Melvin, and rounding out the top 5, the number 36 machine of Peter Cook. Inside of row number 3, it's AJ Panacity. Outside, it's Pete Evans in the number 57 machine. Todd Breggy is inside of row number 4, and outside that 4th row, we'll double check, don't want to get the name incorrect for that young man, Jim Shorey. There we go, Jim Shorey drives the number 42 here tonight. Green flag flies and we are underway. Side by side, the Hobby Stocks, we should say, work their way out of turn number 2 and now down the backstretch. They are still side by side. It's as if the green didn't fly. They are working their way in formation down the front stretch. Hoffman with the advantage in the number 12 machine. Here comes Wade Worcester up to the inside of Scott. Kenny Scott Jr. realizing that he's on the high side. He's in the bad part of town. Don't worry about it, Kenny. They're not going to steal your hubcaps for 2 reasons. 1, you don't have any. And 2, you're moving just a wee bit too fast to get your hubcaps stolen, but they will pass you as quick as they possibly can. Speaking of quick, Wade Worcester's been quick. He's up at the front of the pack, but here comes Pete Evans. Evans trying to find a way around Wade Worcester. Wade Worcester, your leader. Pete Evans down to the inside. He's got a nose down there. Evans jumps on the binders to avoid taking Worcester out. Good move from Evans. It's no good picking up the top spot if they disqualify you. Worcester, your leader. Evans sits in second. Third is Hoffman. Here comes Breggy to the inside. Battle for third. Breggy will pick up the spot. Jim Shorey now to the inside. Shorey up to 4th. Hoffman goes down 2 spots in the Hampton Shuttle sponsored number 12 machine. Down to the inside of Breggy goes Jim Shorey in the number 42 machine. Shorey now with 3rd spot in the number 42 machine that was piloted at the beginning of the season by the late Doug Ricker. Jim Shorey jumping into it here tonight in memory of Doug. 2 more laps to go. Shorey's up into 3rd. Evans is 2nd. First is Wade Worcester in the number 8 machine. Worcester started 3rd on this field, trying to take it home in 1st. White flag flies. Last trip around the speedway. Shorey to the high side on Evans. Shorey and Evans side by side. Worcester will win it if he can keep it going the right direction, something that he's really good at. Checkers fly. Worcester takes home the win. Evans will take home 2nd. 3rd goes to Shorey. 4th to Todd Breggy. And rounding out your top 5, the number 12 machine of Eric Hoffman. Hoffman, by the way, started on the pole here in heat race number 1.
Also, would like to welcome Bob Cloutier and Don McLaren visiting with us tonight. Big welcome to them. Green flag. Aaron Neville and Ronnie Washburn. Washburn in trouble. He tries to gather it up with Tangway on the bottom. Down the back straightaway they go into turn number 3.
Neville down to the inside on Washburn. Washburn trying to make it stick on the high side. Slideways for Neville. Neville got sideways and slideways down the front stretch. Washburn able to pull away in the number 49 machine. Here comes Brian Thompson to the high side of the number 69. We know Brian Thompson likes the high side here at Lee USA Speedway, especially now with the coach share up in the corners. Brian Thompson is a big fan of the penthouse here at Lee USA Speedway. Thompson picks up the 2nd spot. A little bit of contact between Thompson and Neville. Neville battling hard, trying to get back up into the 2nd position as Neville drops to 3rd, all over the back bumper, the 79 of Pat Tangway. Tangway will go to the inside with Neville. Neville sticks his nose down low, trying to get around Brian Thompson. All of this happening behind Washburn. Great to see Washburn having a good run here at Lee USA Speedway, especially in the 49 machine, which for years was my personal sim racing number. I've changed the since to the 505, but it's great to see a 49 out there. Ronald Washburn is your race leader, doing a great job out there, followed by Neville. Neville, a little shot in the back bumper for Washburn as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. Neville hanging strong in spot number 2. Brian Thompson trying to find a way around the number 29 machine. Thompson already got around him once. We'll see if he can do it again. Oh, around goes number 40 in turn number 4. Donald Fortin goes around in turn number 4. Yellow flag flies, and we are under caution. Look out, boys.
Fans, coming up July 27th, it's Planet 8 night here at the Speedway. Vendor space is available for only $15 for the day. It happens this Sunday here at the Speedway on the Speedway grounds. 50-50 tickets to the right of the start-finish line. If you'd like to get in on the drawing, Darrell, we're going back to green.
Washburn hard on the throttle with company on the high side. Neville up on the high side of Washburn. Thompson down on the inside of Neville. Here comes Tangway. Don't count him out of it, not for a second. Jeff Rollins working hard in the number 28, and we're tied up with Tangway in turn number 3. Yellow flag flies on the Speedway as we've got a couple cars meeting at nose to fender in turn number 3 here at Lee USA Speedway. That's the number 79 of Tangway and the number 28 machine of Rollins. We're just about set to go back to green flag racing here. Ronald Washburn is your leader. Brian Thompson's in 2nd. Hey, there's Matt Thomas. He currently sits in 3rd. Green flag flies. We're back underway. Nose to tail, they work their way through turns 1 and 2 and down the back stretch. Matt Thomas all over the back bumper of Brian Thompson. Washburn trying to hold him off. One more lap to go. Washburn is your leader down the back stretch for the final time. Another feel-good story in the making. Checkers in the air. Washburn takes home the win. 2nd goes to Thompson. 3rd goes to Thomas, as that is your top 3 as they cross the stripe here at Lee USA Speedway.
Right on! We're already. Yes, you bet. We're already.
2 consecutive wins for Dean Weber. Can he score the hat trick here tonight? He's driving car number 30. Doug Dawkins is in the number 94. Bobby Belargent in the 82. Joe Moore in the 71. Brian Grant's in the number 79. 40 laps for the NASCAR Wheel and All-American Series. And here we go. Down the back straightaway, side-by-side action here. On the opening lap, who's going to be the first lap leader? It will be Miles Chipman. Miles Chipman has the lead. Behind him, Katrina and Ricky Wolf, door to door. Hackler in tight behind the number 12 car. Jeff LeBrecq and then Brian Kruzak on the outside. Whoa, Hackler. Oh, we got a car spinning in his Larmy. Yellow out. Keith Larmy going around in the number 2 car. And Tom Fuller trying to escape damage over there in the number 14 car. He goes around on the bottom of the number 2 corner. Miles Chipman ready to bring this field to green with Ricky Wolf right alongside of him. Brian Callen looks him over closely. The motors come alive and the field does too. Green flag. Side by side for the lead out of turn number 2 as they lunge down the back chute. Ricky Wolf. Ow. Wolf is your leader. Miles Chipman, Jeff LeBrecq, Brian Kruzak in the 4th spot, Jeff Zeidema. J.R. Burrell's right behind Zeidema and Katrina Canny. Look at Chipman way high in the 4th turn. Side by side, LeBrecq and Chipman as LeBrecq moves into the 2nd spot now. He's got his sights on the leader, Ricky Wolf. Ricky Wolf of the BG Environmental number 38. Side by side for the 3rd spot between Kruzak. Kruzak's got the low line going through 3, the fast way around. And he goes into the 3rd spot of the Kruzak's garage. M&R, number 00 car. Dean Weber goes by Zeidema. Side by side, Larmy and Kenny. LeBrecq trying to reel in the leader. We'll put a stopwatch on Ricky Wolf. Kruzak 3rd. Chipman and Burrell the top 5. The leader, 16.5. 16.5. And we're going to put we have a clock running on Jeff LeBrecq. 16.3. Wolf going around 16.5. LeBrecq a 16.3. And the result is obvious. He's closing. Car length and a half down the back straightaway is the advantage between the 38 and the number 24. Kruzak in the 3rd spot. Weber trying to get by J.R. Burrell. Weber's right on his bumper going down the 1st turn in that number 30 car. He's right there knocking on the door. LeBrecq is caught up to the leader. Jeffrey LeBrecq. Right there in the hunt behind the number 38 car. LeBrecq on the backside of the leader as they come down the front straightaway. Wolf trying to drive a nice easy line into turn number 1. Keeps the bottom open and down the back straightaway they go nose to tail. LeBrecq down low now, right up behind him, coming off turn number 4. Down the front straightaway, LeBrecq pulls in. Crisscrosses behind him, looks to the outside. Jeff LeBrecq trying to find a horsepower to get him to the outside as they exit the second turn. Nothing doing. Wolfie beats him down the back straightaway. The Wolf Pack out in front. Here's LeBrecq to the bottom of the number 4 turn. For a glimpse there, nothing doing. Stays right with him now to the outside. We got another barn burner here at Lee in the late models. That time LeBrecq got up into the marbles, he loosened up. And the number 38 car had a couple of car lengths on them on the back straightaway. Brian Kruzak trying to let it all hang out here and catch up to those leaders and contest for the number 2 spot here. Burrill and Weber, 4th and 5th. Weber staying right with Burrill on the back chute. Here's LeBrecq to the bottom of turn number 2, looking for the chance, nothing happening. We are halfway, 20 down, 20 to go. Here's LeBrecq down low off turn number 2. Brian Cowan showing the rest of the field the halfway side. One caution flag, here they are down the chute. Here LeBrecq looks to the inside again. Shoots to the outside as they go by the VIP tower. Tries to make a stick up top and 2, nothing happening. Ricky Wolf holds them at bay down the back chute. And they are catching up to the slower cars, bearing down on the back end of the field here. For the NASCAR Whelen All-American Series, Ciate Racing Products late models. Good run here. Here's LeBrecq to the inside. Making a challenge down low out of the turn. Ricky Wolf holds him off. The kid and the veteran. The slower cars down here as they enter turn number 1. Here's LeBrecq down to the bottom, trying to make it work down low again. Nothing happening there. Fights back strong on the inside. Tries to get the nose underneath those digits. He does as they go into the turn. They're side by side. We may have a new leader. Jeff LeBrecq. Oh, a little bit of contact out here on the front straightaway. LeBrecq and Wolf. LeBrecq fast to you tonight. Earlier, Wolf was turning a 16.5. We had LeBrecq at a 16.3. Brian Kruzak, 3rd spot. Got a good run going there. JR's catching up to him. Now we got a battle going on for 3rd. Burrill and Weber right behind Brian Kruzak. Burrill running behind the 00. In traffic, right alongside Brian Grants and Dawkins in the 94. That's probably the best battle on the speedway right now. JR looking for the opportunity on the inside. Here comes Dean Weber. Oh, Weber clangs the wall. He's into the wall. He and Lamy made contact out here. And around goes the number 30. Yellow out. Oh, what a tough break for Dean Weber. Weber and Keith Lamy coming together on the front straightaway. Weber made contact with the wall and then proceeded to get out of shape. And then clanged the wall again over in the first corner, looping his racer and rolling down onto the grass apron in the infield of turn number 1. The field set now for the restart, fans, as we get ready to go back to green. Hoping you're enjoying your Friday night under the lights in USA. Green flag. Jeff LeBrecq and Ricky Wolf. Wolf on the outside. Kruzak Here comes Jeff Zaidema. Zaidema to the inside of Barreau. Jeff Zaidema in the 39. Racing right there with J.R. Barreau. There's a battle for the lead coming out of the turn. Side by side down the front straightaway. The veteran Ricky Wolf trying to hook it up on the outside of Lebrecht. Krusek third, Barreau and Zaidema in the top 5. Down the back straightaway, J.R. Barreau's in 4th. But up the front of the field, you've got Ricky Wolf all over Jeff Lebrecht. Wolf doing a super job. And BG Environmental number 38. Right there with the number 24. The kid from Rochester. The veteran from Northwood. Yeah, to the inside of the 00 as he challenges for the number 3 spot. Down the front straightaway, Barreau's going to go to the inside and take a peek there. Down low, he's got the line going into turn number 1. Does he have the momentum? Krusek keeps his leg in it on the outside. Brian Krusek not ready to hand it over to J.R. Barreau. Side by side out of turn number 4. Jeff Zaidema watches from the number 39. Miles Chipman right behind him in the no. Then Harkler Road and Katrina. Side by side race for the 3rd spot. Outstanding late model action here at New Hampshire's center of speed. 5 to go. 5 more laps to go in your 40-lap main event. Zaidema and Krusek. Zaidema on the bottom as they muscle through that number 2 turn. Krusek right behind the number 39. Krusek stays right on the bumper of Jeff Zaidema. Closing stages. 2 laps to go. Last 2 laps in this one. Barreau is 3rd. Zaidema and Krusek. They're going to get the white flag. 1 more lap to go for Lebrecht. Nice run here tonight by the young Charger from Rochester. Ready to finish it. Jeff Lebrecht scores his 1st of the season. 2nd will go to Ricky Wolf. Oh, we got a car into the wall. Lebrecht wins it, but we got a car into the wall in the 1st turn. But Jeremy Harkler Road, one of the lead fire people are heading over there to check on the status of the driver. Yeah, that looks like Jeremy. The spotters for the True Value Modifieds making their way to their seating area here, high atop the grandstands to the right of our tower as we look out. The True Value Modifieds on the Speedway next. The management of the Speedway realizing that a lot of fans follow this tour around New England and coming here early, get them on the racetrack early, so that if you so choose, you can head on out of here if you've got a long ride ahead of you. Very eventful late model race. Jeff Lebrecht picking up his 1st win of the season. He's run so well, it's hard to believe he has not been in victory lane yet, but he certainly is in it tonight as he earns it and does a great job. Going by Ricky Wolf. Wolf gave him an outstanding run in the number 38. Our winners this year in the late models have been DJ Shaw, who won the opener here back in April on that Sunday afternoon. Ricky Wolf took down the win. Brian Krusek, J.R. Barreau, Jeremy Harkler Road, Keith Larmy. J.R. Barreau's got 2 wins. Nolan won here about 3 weeks ago. Dean Weber's won 2 in a row. And that comes to a stop here tonight as Jeff Lebrecht notches his 1st of the year. Down in victory lane. How about a nice hand for him? My partner's down there, Darryl Morley. He's going to talk with the winner.
Jeff Lebrecht, both John Spence and I were looking at the winners list and we said there's no way. There is no way that number 24 hasn't been in victory lane this year. It's been a hard road, but you put that 24 where it belongs, right here in victory lane.
Yeah, we've really been trying hard this year. We've had a great car week in and week out. We've been denied a few that we could have had, but it's the way racing goes, I guess. So I really got to thank my crew. They work 100% on this car every week. I mean, they give everything any crew could ever need. I mean, we have them. So I got to thank them and my father. He works day and night to fix this thing when we get put in the fence, and it really pays off, I guess. We're down here.
Well, you got a guy coming over here to congratulate you. I think it's a guy you know quite well. Ricky Wolf coming over to congratulate Jeff LeBrecq. Jeff, just a few weeks ago, that was you coming over to congratulate Dean Weber. It's nice being on the other side.
It is nice. Like I said, I've been hungry for it all year, and you just got to be patient. It'll come, I guess.
Well, Jeff, it's a long way from Sugar Hill Speedway and the Mini Cup cars. Welcome to Victory Lane at Lee in 2007. Let him hear you, Jeff LeBrecq! All right, fans, grab your 50-50 raffle tickets. Time to grab ourselves some 50-50 raffle winners. First prize is our cash prize. $251 goes to the number for that one. Blue ticket, 589876.
Just gave them to me today.
All right, Speedy gift certificate for a 17-point oil change service. Winning number, blue ticket, 589485. 589485. And finally, another Speedy 17-point oil change. Winning number on that one, blue ticket, 589434. 589434. You can claim your prizes right here at the start-finish line.
All righty there, Roadrunners on the Speedway. Lloyd Chapin leading it. Lloyd Chapin out in front.
Chapin is your leader. Battle for second between Faulkner and Brown. Ben Brown working hard in second spot, trying to make it work on the high side of Faulkner. Getting a great view of this battle is the number 2 machine of Bill Osborne. Wild Bill Osborne getting a great view of this battle now on the back bumper of Faulkner as Faulkner edges ahead of Brown. By the way, our fan of the week is Thomas Gray from Rochester, New Hampshire. Favorite driver for Thomas is Keith Larmy, driver of the number 2 late model. Favorite NASCAR driver, of course, the number 8 machine. Who doesn't? You can read all of his information in the lead ledger this week, along with the information from yours truly. I got the official profile of the week, and the driver profile is the very one and only Ben Brown. Chapin down to the inside, off the pace. Brown picks up the top spot. Lloyd Chapin dropped to the inside. Ben Brown picks up the number 1 spot. He is your driver profile for this week. That's Ben Brown. He picks up the number 1 position, gets around Chapin. Chapin now battling back, trying to get that position back. He had the win almost locked up. Now he's set to chase down Ben Brown if he can track him down. Get up to that back bumper, then comes the hard part. Trying to work his way around the number 37 machine of Brown. Oh, around goes the 08 of Jacobson. Yellow flag, oh, nailed by the number 36 of Damon. David Damon jumped on the binders but got right into the back of the 08 of Jacobson. Jacobson back under power. Officials checking with David Damon right now. It was a vicious hit to the number 36 of Damon. Quite the shot for the 08 machine of Jacobson as well. Ought to be interesting to see what happens first time through turn number 2 with the speedy dry on the racing surface. They swept up what they could of it, but there's still a good amount left. In turn number 2, we'll keep an eye on the action in turn 2 as the drivers come out of turn number 4. Green flag flies and we're racing. Chapin up on the high side by side. First time through the speedy dry. Everybody maintains their line. Fantastic piece of driving. Chapin still battling up on the high side. Ben Brown on the inside in the number 37. It's Brown down low, picks up the number 1 spot and starts to pull away from Chapin. Brown is your leader. Chapin sits in second spot. Third is Faulkner, about a half a straightaway behind your top 2 drivers, who are nose to tail coming off from turn number 2. Slideways for Chapin. Chapin got that car out of shape, does it again on a turn number 2, gathers it back up. Lord, I know that's fun, but it's not the fast way around this racetrack. The number 22 machine battling what we call in the racing profession a loose condition. Back end of the car would like to pass the front end of the car, and those of us that have been around racing for a while know that that's not a good thing. Should the back end of the car pass the front end of said car. 2 more laps to go for Ben Brown. In the number 37 machine, Brown having a strong run so far here tonight in that number 37. Ben Brown was running in second. Chapin made a mistake. Brown got around him. Last lap, can Lloyd Chapin get back around Ben Brown? Chapin on the back bumper through 1 and 2. Down the backstretch they head here at New Hampshire's Center of Speed. Road runner action coming out of turn number 4. Coming at you on the front stretch. Checkers fly. Brown takes home the win. Lloyd Chapin will take home second place. Third will go to Dana Faulkner. And Keith Jones rounds out the 4 cars that finish here tonight in this one. When the green flag flies, these monsters are unleashed. These beasts are set loose on this 3/8 mile oval. Green flag flies, we're back underway. Much better start that time by and on the lead down the backstretch is Cazares. A lot of sparks from underneath the number 22 machine. Lane trying to find a way by on the inside. No such thing right now for Cazares. Lane down to the inside. Cazares up top, now comes back down into second spot behind Lane. The sparks are flying here at Lee. Whitcomb now trying to find a way around the number 22 of Cazares. Cazares' machine not handling nearly as well as it was in the heat race. Whitcomb up into second spot. Lane is your leader. Dynamite Dave down to third, fourth is Gav, fifth is Ricky. Lane leads them down the backstretch. Whitcomb sits in second. Cazares is third. Gath is fourth. Ricky is fifth. The Georgetown Jet Dan Bowes working his way up through the field. Currently sits in sixth spot. A lot of sparks from underneath that number 22 machine. Whitcomb to the high side on Lane. Eddie Whitcomb Jr. to the lead. Tonight is a precursor to next week's 40-lap main event. Whitcomb is your leader. Lane sits in second. Hanging on to third is Cazares. Fourth is Kristen Gapp, having a great run in the number 77 machine. Tony Ricky sits in the fifth position. Jack Lilly down to the infield. Halfway home here in this one, 13 down, 12 to go, yellow flag. Kristen Gath had a stop inside of turn number 4. That'll slow the action down, and it'll also give Dan Lane another shot at Eddie Whitcomb Jr. Kristen Gath gets underway. Jeffrey Locke is already out on the field. One car has gone home. That's a 47 of Riley. Green flag flies. We're back underway. Side by side, Lane and Whitcomb. Lane tries to dive down to the inside on Whitcomb. No such thing happening here tonight. Whitcomb trying to pull away from Lane. Eddie Whitcomb Jr. is your leader. Dan Lane sits in second. Third is Tony Ricky. Mike Ordway Jr. trying to find a way around the number 22 of Cazares. Whitcomb is your race leader. Lane sits in second. Ricky is third. Tony Ricky's already covered this track. over 100 times here tonight. What's another 25? Jeffrey Locke tries to get to the inside of Cazares, couldn't quite make it stick. Locke had to jump on the binders to avoid getting into the side of Cazares. Side by side, Locke takes away the spot. Jeffrey Locke is on a rail working his way to the front, but he's not going to have time without a caution flag. 5 more laps to go. 20 down, 5 to go as the number 11 of Ordway Jr. tries to work his way around Cazares. That machine not handling the way it did in the heat race. Sparks continue to fly from the number 22 machine of Cazares. No spark problem for the number 39 of Whitcomb. 2 more laps to go. Jeffrey Locke was going for the hat trick 3 in a row here tonight. Not going to happen. White flag. 1 more trip around the track for Eddie Whitcomb Jr. Out of turn number 4, here's your winner, Eddie Whitcomb Jr. Second goes to Lane, third to Ricky, fourth goes to Locke. Fifth will go to the number 11 machine of Ordway Jr., sixth to Cazares, seventh to Bose, eighth will go to Scanlon. I believe ninth will go to Jack Lilly, and rounding out this field, the number 77 of Kristen Gaff. Of the 10 drivers that finished our feature event here tonight. Inside of row number 4, the number 54 of Nick Gravel. Outside of Gravel, the number 36 of Peter Cook. Inside of row number 5, the number 93 of Bo Green. Outside is Wayne Whitten Jr. The number 27 machine of Bruce Bernhardt is inside of row number 6. Outside is Grant Ather. Green flag flies and we're underway. Also out there, Kevin Aberle and the number 99 of Roach up into the wall in turn number 2. That's going to bring out a yellow here in the late model Sportsman.
All right, the caution out for car number 99, Dave Roach. Michelle Fishpansky, the 47. Jolton Joe Delisle. On the inside of that second row, Wade Worcester, as Brian looks him over and brings him to green. Here we go. Green flag. Feature race for the late model Sportsman getting under green here as they roar down the back straightaway, all bunched together. Delisle to the inside. We got a challenge for the lead here between Delisle and the number 48, Jason Marr. Oh, look at Marr on the bottom. Loose off the second turn. Side by side as they come off the turn. Joe Delisle, Bobby Melvin, Michelle Fishpansky side by side as they work into the corner with Peter Cook right there and the number 36, Wayne Whitten Jr., Dan Eaton. Bunched together in the back straightaway. Guys have been waiting to race all night long and are doing a nice job of it right here. Down the front straightaway to Lyle. Marr up behind the 07 of Jesse Bousquet. the Pittsfield, New Hampshire driver in the J&R Auto car. Melvin on the inside of Marr. They're side by side through 3 and 4. And Bobby Melvin. He rolls into the third spot in car number 91. The Melvin Motorsports Chicken Flag Auto Supply, Griffin Auto Services and Restoration. We got action over in the number 2 corner. Michelle Fishpansky. Nick Gravel was on the apron, but the 1% sits atop the second corner, and caution is on the speedway here on lap number 4. Green flag. Side by side out of 2, a lot of traffic there. Whoa! Melvin into Bousquet, Bousquet into, wow, active. Oh man, Grant Hayden got the worst of that one. Actually, it wasn't Melvin that got into Bousquet. Car got into Bousquet from behind, and Bousquet got into Melvin. Peter Cook over there, Nick Gravel, and they're going to need the hook for Grant Ather's car, the 7-ounce car. She's got the right front tire. That was the pop you heard over there. Right front tire went down on his car. Speedway's clear. Don's ready to leave the Speedway in the pace car. Caution lights are on, and Brian watches that front row. Joe Delisle and Peter Cook. Here they are. Green flag. Sparks fly. Something broke on Peter Cook's number 36. He may have a tire going down. Cookie heading to the pit area. Whoops, something let go, and he comes to a stop out there. Cook is going to need the wrecker. What a night it has been. And yes, it is Friday the 13th. Guess we can blame it on the calendar. Peter Cook and Bobby Melvin back on the speedway, rejoining the action at the tail end. Here they come. Side by side at the drop of the green flag, Delisle and Wayne Whitten Jr. Wayne Whitten jumps out in front of the Bentley Saloon Perkins Paving 2X. Delisle loose. Bo had to back out of it. Here comes Marr on the outside. Marr right there. Whoops. Ably right behind Dan Eaton in the 77. Bo to the inside. Bo Green. Challenging Joe Delisle for second. Delisle beats him into the turn. Look at Delisle fight a ill-handling stock car. And the back end loosened up on him. But Green gets by. Nice move by Bo Green. Here's Dan Eaton to the inside. The back end loosens up on the number 47, so the inside is the way by. Bernhardt right in tight behind Ably as they go into one. Action out here in the front straightaway. Palin and Bousquet. Whoa! Paul's going to get it fired up here. Not in time, though. Caution out. Slow it down. Everybody on the binders. Doubled up for the restart. 12 laps completed. Speedway clear. We're going to go back to green now. Around goes Michelle Fishpansky. Side by side, battle for the lead now between your front two cars here, Wayne Whitten and Bo Green. Caution is out for Michelle. Great flag. Nose to tail, Bo's right there. Green trying to find a way by the number 2X. Dan Eaton's third. Joe Delisle and Kevin Abeley in the 53. Five laps to go. Lap late model sportsman feature tonight. Bo right on the rear flank of the number 2X. Look at Dan Eaton closing. Eaton's fast now, the number 77. Bo's right there. 2 to go. And now your white flag. 1 to go. Here they are, to the checkers. Wayne Whitten wins it. Bo Green, and then the number 77. Dan Eaton finishing in the third spot. We have one more race, so we're going to squeeze in here the hobby stocks to wrap it up.
Hobby stock racing action getting set to go. Eric Hoffman will start on the pole. Outside is number 49 of Washburn. Green flag flies and we're racing. Washburn with the lead. Here comes Tangway in the number 79 machine. 3 wide down the backstretch with the hobby stocks. Matt Thomas was on the inside. Titkin was in the middle. Not where you want to be here at Lee USA Speedway. Side by side, they work their way through turn number 2, now down the backstretch. Here comes that number 42 machine of Jim Shorey. Once again, all of our Victory Lane celebrations will be held immediately following this event. There will be no Victory Lane interviews, however. We will have our Victory Lane photograph sessions immediately following this feature race. Jim Shorey working hard on the number 42 machine, trying to find a way up to the back bumper of Pete Evans. Evans on the inside of Wade Worcester. Worcester keeps it to the high side. Evans trying to get the run down the front stretch. Number 28 of Jeff Rollins out there working the low line. Here comes Worcester on the high side. Evans may want to jump to that high side as well. It's working for Worcester. Looks like Wade Worcester may have committed himself to that high line, and he will stay up there. At least until he can get by Tangway. That is if he can get by Tangway. Patrick Tangway can be a very difficult person to pass. He'll race you clean, but he'll race you harder than anybody else out there will. Oh, Worcester gets in the back of Washburn. 3 wide for the lead down the backstretch. 3 wide, 2 deep momentarily. Worcester and Tangway split the number 49 of Washburn. Washburn was having such a spectacular run on the number 49 here tonight. Looks like the bottom has fallen out for him. Yes, indeed. It is Friday the 13th. Tangway is your race leader. Rollins now to the inside of Worcester. And Jim Shorey has come to the party, and he even brought dip. That's just the kind of guy that Jim Shorey is. Working their way through turns 3 and 4 now down the front stretch. Tangway is your leader. Rollins was in second spot last time by the stripe. Worcester was third. Shorey was fourth. Matt Thomas in fifth. Ten down, 10 to go. We're halfway. Shorey jumps on the binders to avoid taking Rollins for a 5-ticket ride. Classy move from Jim Shorey. At some point, you've got to wonder how long will the class last. Jim Shorey down to the inside of the number 28 of Rollins. Side by side for second spot. Shorey has the spot. Worcester sliding it off from turn number 4. This place hasn't been a dirt track for decades. Worcester on the inside of Rollins. Rollins up high. Worcester picks up the spot. Thomas now to the inside of Rollins. As we're side by side for the lead. Shorey and Tangway drag racing down the backstretch. Jim Shorey has picked up the top spot. It feels good to see the number 42 out there on the racetrack, and it feels real good to see the 42 in the lead. 5 more laps to go. Shorey giving the 42 one heck of a ride here tonight at Lee USA Speedway. It's Shorey followed by Tangway and Worcester. Thomas in tow along with Brian Thompson and the number 4 of Todd Breggy. Closing laps here of this one. Wade Worcester to the high side of Tangway. The battle for second place. Wade Worcester on the high side. Patrick Tangway on the inside. Worcester will clear Tangway coming into turns 1 and 2. Tangway trying to battle back. Here comes Matt Thomas on the inside of Tangway. Battle for third. Brian Cowan says 2 more laps to go. Closing laps here of this one, the closing laps of our final race of the evening here tonight. Want to thank everybody for coming out and spending their time with us here on Friday the 13th at Lee USA Speedway. It may turn out to be a very good Friday the 13th for the number 42 machine of Jim Shorey. Last time down the backstretch for Jim Shorey in the number 42 machine. Somewhere Doug Ricker is smiling. Off from turn number 4, Shorey takes home the win. Second will go to Worcester, third to Matt Thomas, fourth to Brian Thompson, and rounding out your top 5 is Todd Breggy. Somehow, someway, he would not be denied. Jim Shorey puts the 42 machine in victory lane.
We're going to keep the chatter down a little bit here, only because of the hour. It is actually 12 midnight.
A tribute to the Westboro Speedway. Journey back through time with photos, films, and videos. Experience the cars, the stars, the way it was. Through the 50s to the 80s at the High Bank Quarter Mile Speedway. Plus, a look at the 2001 Westboro Speedway reunion. Order now by calling 888-RACE-VIDEO or 603-679-6796. Now you can own a part of racing history. Stars of the Winston Cup Series compete on a local short track. Not just an exhibition, but real wheel-to-wheel, no-holds-barred racing. Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, Morgan Shepherd, Ernie Irvin, Jeffrey Bodine, Davey Allison, and many more, racing pro stocks against local drivers. To order your VHS copy in hi-fi stereo sound, call toll-free 888-RACE-VIDEO. That's 888-RACE-VIDEO.